So the Aces are the current WNBA champions, and it's going to be a grim, and I mean grim, few weeks for this franchise, because it does not seem like things are going well in terms of the off-the-court stuff. And every bit of this starting from the old championship parade. And it's one of these things where it's like, this wouldn't mean much if it wasn't for the fact that NaLyssa Smith was a key player on this team. NaLyssa was a key player on this team, and I don't see how NaLyssa Smith and Jackie Young are ever going to be able to play on the same team again. I don't see how that's going to happen. And it's tough because it's not difficult to find a forward to play beside A'ja Wilson. However, the Fever have struggled. The Fever really, really struggled. Not struggled, geez. The Aces have really struggled over the years to find that player. That being said, now it looks like they just can't keep NaLyssa Smith. So this is some of the just nonsense that has happened around NaLyssa Smith over the years. So obviously, look, we all know with NaLyssa Smith with the Indiana Fever, the biggest reason why NaLyssa Smith and the Fever fans it was a bit of a weird relationship, I'd say, between NaLyssa Smith and the Fever fans. I don't think anyone on a personal level necessarily disliked NaLyssa Smith, but it was clear that the outside noise affected her. It made her play worse. And when that outside noise kind of stopped with the Aces, because, by the way, that outside noise was there with the Dallas Wings too. It was there with the Wings too because of the Page nonsense. And then when that all stopped, she kind of excelled. And now she is in a situation where her former teammate, or her teammate, is dating her ex, while also the rumor is that she's also dating her former teammate's ex. Like, this is very, very odd. It's very, very odd as somebody who's coming from, obviously, being around a lot of male sports, but it doesn't really happen. That being said, though, I don't really care as long as these type of things don't affect playing on the floor. And if there's one thing I know from covering NaLyssa Smith since 2024, is outside bullshit affects NaLyssa Smith playing basketball. It does. Like, it was very, very clear whenever Dejanay was tweeting bullshit, especially towards Caitlin, NaLyssa played worse. She did. She played worse. Whenever that was happening, she was playing worse. I don't know if it was an intentional, like it was a thing she noticed, but that's what it felt like anyway. And by the way, like, nobody's questioning NaLyssa Smith's talent. Like, I actually thought she was going to be taken by the Valks and she was going to be an all-star. That was my actual prediction for this season. She was going to make an all-star team. But no one's questioning NaLyssa Smith's talent. Obviously had a good year in AU. That being said, if the Aces go and lose NaLyssa Smith, because I think she'd actually be on a pretty decent RFA contract. Like, you're probably losing her in the expansion draft. Like, if you're the Aces, you're probably not protecting NaLyssa because you're not going to be able to get anything in a sign-in trade for her. And look, giving up the first-round pick for NaLyssa if you're Vegas was worth it. It was probably worth it. But it's a tough one because the Aces are probably going to lose one of their big three. They're definitely losing Jewel Lloyd, obviously. They're probably going to lose one of A'ja. They're not losing A'ja. They're probably going to lose one of Chelsea Gray or Jackie Young. Probably Chelsea Gray. I have a feeling Chelsea Gray is going to take like a mega bucks contract at Washington. That's my theory, is that Chelsea Gray is going to take a max $1.2 million contract to go play for the Washington Mystics. I think everybody kind of knows that if you're smart, that this was the 2022 Warriors year, that this current version of the Aces, that they weren't one of the top teams, but they somehow managed to win a ring. My theory is that she's going to go to Washington. Why? Because Washington can pay her 1.2 million supermax, and Washington have the 4th pick in the draft, which they might go and use, which they very well could use on Awafam, or they could use it on Flau'jae Johnson. You've still got Sonia Citron, you've still got Shakira Austin, you've still got Kiki Iriafen. That is a 5 seed starting 5. And ironically, that starting 5 might be better than the starting 5 the Aces put out. But losing NaLyssa is going to be huge. And whether or not NaLyssa Smith is physically gone from the Aces, after what happened with the Fever, what happened in Dallas, all that other stuff, I genuinely don't know if NaLyssa Smith is mentally going to be there. Because even though her stats were similar at Dallas and Vegas, there was a different level of, and her stats are better in Indiana, there was a different level of mental lock-in from NaLyssa Smith this year than we saw at all. Than we saw for the last season, or when she went to Vegas, than we saw for the last season and a half before that. There was a different level of lock-in from a super talented player. And I just don't know how this situation is going to get moved past, because with all of this bullshit going on, Jackie Young could very well not affect Jackie Young. There are 100% players in this league who wouldn't get affected by the nonsense, who would be able to just be fully professional and not let it affect them. I'm not even saying that NaLyssa Smith's not unprofessional. She has just proven so far to, well, basically let the outside noise affect whether or not, like, how she plays. Like, I think a lot of people have talked about NaLyssa when she was at they're going to be like, oh, she can go back home to Indiana. And I'm like, no, I don't want NaLyssa Smith to go to Indiana. Go to an expansion franchise and drop 17 a game or something. Like, genuinely, go do that. Because she's clearly somebody that doesn't thrive in the circus and is a talented enough player that I just want to go and see her go drop 15 a game somewhere. Because with all this bullshit that's going on in the Aces right now, that will be going on with the Aces, and like you just know that Dejanay is going to rock up courtside wearing a number 0 jersey if NaLyssa Smith is still on the team with NaLyssa Smith there. Like, you just know she's going to pull some bullshit like that. And I don't think that's going to be good for this Aces team. But I also think it's going to be tough for the Aces to find someone to replace NaLyssa Smith, because she did really well for them. And if, in fairness, 1 first-round pick for a ring, worth it. But I thought the Aces probably didn't have the firepower to really compete this year. I thought just with the way everything was with the salary cap and AJ getting the supermax, it becomes a tough situation to run it back. But obviously, with this stuff going on, you can't have this stuff going on if you are going to run it back. Like, if you are the 7th most talented team in the league, or the 6th most talented team in the league, albeit having the most talented player in the league, if you are that type of team, you realistically have to have, the vibes have to be immaculate, and you better believe they won't be in this scenario. Anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.